Humanitarian Affairs. Well, Victoria Rose and Graham Groom are surgeons who've been working in the European Gaza hospital in Khan Yunis, and they join me on the line from there now. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Graham and Victoria, just tell us why you have felt the compulsion to be there and what are the conditions that you're seeing at the moment.
Perhaps I could go first. We're not at the European Gaza. The European Gaza hospital is currently closed. We're at the NASA hospital, which is probably the only major hospital that is pretty much fully operational in the Gaza Strip. The other hospitals you mentioned are working at very much below their normal capacity. Rosie can speak for herself, but the reason I feel the need to come here is we've been coming on educational training capacity building projects since 2009. So we have friends and colleagues here, and we can't desert them in times of trouble. In fact, from my point of view, it's an enormous privilege to come to lend a hand to good people in times of trouble.
Yes, I would support that. We've got a lot of colleagues that we've worked with out here, and then we've got some colleagues from Palestine that have come back and trained with us in the UK. So we do have some quite strong links with the medical teams here.
And just tell us what you're seeing, who you are having to treat, and what are the resources that you've got?
Well, if I should go first, there are huge numbers of people in need of what we call orthoplastic treatment. They have horrible wounds from bombs and fragment injuries, from blast and from burns, and they need treatment by plastic and orthopedic surgeons working together. They're huge numbers. I think the figures you stated are probably accurate. Whenever we've tried to verify Ministry of Health figures, we found them more or less to be correct. If I could give you an example, the first person on my list this morning was a 19-year-old girl who was 32 weeks pregnant, who had such a severe injury to her leg that she really needs an amputation. The problem is that an amputation will only be effective if the prosthetics are good, if the artificial limbs work, and the rehabilitation hospital, which provides the prosthetic limbs, has been bombed and is out of action. She needs that operation. It's not culturally acceptable, and we're stuck with one poor, young, frightened, heavily pregnant woman. And I think she exemplifies what I've been doing today.
And Graham, just with that example, what will happen to her now? What are the options that you have to help her?
Well, we've done a temporising procedure. We've done something that in the UK might enable her to keep her leg, but it would need 2 years at least of treatment, constant supervision, and access to all the things that go with that. And of course, that's just not available here. So what we have done is shorten her leg quite considerably. We will try to close the soft tissues. She has a frame on it, which will stabilize things and hopefully relieve her pain. And we will see what eventuates. If the soft tissues can be closed, she might manage with a short leg until such time as it's appropriate to lengthen it.
And Victoria Rose, just let me bring you in as well. Just give me an example of some of the people that you've been helping.
So I would say that 100% of my work has been explosive injuries. And that means that I'm treating people with a combination of burn injury and then a shrapnel injury. So when an explosion goes off, whatever is near them, be that rubble, be that metal from a car, whatever has exploded, gets weaponized, hits them, and creates a deep laceration, on occasion breaking bone. Of my explosive injuries, I'd say that 90%, particularly since I've started at the NASA hospital, 90% of the patients I'm treating are under the age of 16. I'm seeing a huge number of under fives or around that age group. And one of my colleagues has explained to me that that's probably because children younger than 5 are often in their mother's arms, so they can be protected from the explosion. And children over 5 are often a lot taller and a lot faster on their feet. But the 5-year-olds are at that height that are taking quite the brunt of the blast. So we're seeing some devastating facial injuries, limb injuries. Today I had a 5-year-old that had been in an explosion, ruptured her bowel. So it really quite distressing stuff.
It's very difficult, obviously, for people to hear this. Are you able to bring in any medical supplies when you go in?
This time we're not. We were here in March, and that was when we were at the European hospital, and during that trip we came in through the Egyptian border at Rafah, and we were able to bring 25 suitcases with us. The majority of them had medical equipment in. This time we've come through Kerem Shalom, which is controlled by Kogat, which is Israel, and we were limited to one suitcase. And in that suitcase, we were told to bring enough food for the month and water for 3 days. So it made it quite difficult for us to bring the medical supplies that we needed with us.
Well, Victoria, Rose, Graham, Groom, thank you both very much for explaining the work that you are doing at the moment at the Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.